Hello and welcome to Non Sequitur News. I am Mayor Watt and the Sentient AI is not available today. We're doing a time machine episode. We've got 10 articles all set up. Today is July 11th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 193. The rundown is like this. 5 levels, 3 laws, 1 sentient AI to rule them all. Insect scientists show tennis players love. Small toilets are upset with this state. Snackflation, inflation, shrinkflation, Ozempic. I'm not a lawyer, but I play a felonious one. South African seals get tired of humans' crap. What the hell are stroads? Helicopter due to heat. Snakes on a plane 2 in my pants. And maybe this will help snackflation. Everything's powered by ohmTown.com. That's that site over there. Why don't you stop by it, become a citizen. Then come and hang out with us here on Twitch and YouTube. I stream to both locations, or we stream to both locations. Like I said, though, the sentient AI from the future is not here today. Let's get into it. All right, folks. The first article is over in the Mobile channel. OpenAI defines 5 levels for AI to reach human intelligence. It's almost at level 2. OpenAI is undoubtedly one of the leaders in the race to reach human-level artificial intelligence, and it's reportedly 4 steps away from getting there. They say they're almost at level 2. I say they've already reached it. Dun, dun, dun. Brittany Wynn over at QZ.com. Quartz. Put the article together. The deck statement says the ChatGPT maker believes it's on the first level, which is conversational AI. And there's a picture of Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, kind of looking off to one side with a voice that kind of, "Don't worry, AI, I won't offend you. Please don't punish me," that kind of a thing. Anyway, the company shared a 5-level system it developed to track its artificial intelligence, or AGI. Progress with employees this week. So an OpenAI spokesperson told Bloomberg that information. The levels go from currently available conversational AI to AI that can perform the same amount of work as an organization. OpenAI will reportedly share the levels with investors and people outside the company. I guess they don't have them yet, but it's kind of interesting because conversational AI is the first level. Doing the same amount of work as an organization is very nebulous. So I'm really curious what that is. There is a link here, but I don't follow them. I'll encourage y'all to go over and check them out. Let me see real quick. I don't know if I put all of the articles into the chat bot. No, I did not. Okay, here, I'll do it live because, well, we can. That's how this works. 1 second. All right, 1 second. It won't look as pretty, but it will be what we need it to be. All right. Okay, so I'm going to throw all of these links into the chat real quick, and this is how it works. You hit !NSN, and that'll pull up all of the commands. I should say all of the links to the articles. They're going to be kind of wonky, but the descriptions, the titles are basically the links, so they make sense when you are just looking at them. If you want the show notes, you hit !show notes, and that'll give you the commands that are necessary to pull each of our shows. We have 7 shows. And if you want the podcast, you hit !pod. And that'll give you a link to all of our podcasts. That said, I'll clean up the show notes from the bot after the show, but you can always get them in the show notes over at Twitch, and from the podcast that itself has the show notes embedded. And the show notes are nothing more than my titles and the links to the article snippets that are aggregated into ohmTown. So back to this article from OpenAI, or about OpenAI from Quartz. What's weird about this is that the very first level is conversational AI, which is what we're experiencing today. I think they have something better than that already. But number 5 on the list is the same amount of work as an organization, which is nebulous. It's not necessarily a number of people. So what is an organization? What is the size and scope? So they say the third level of OpenAI's system is reportedly called agents, and is AI that can perform different actions for several days on behalf of its user, which we already have agents that can do instructions, and they can maintain those instructions as long as they're instanced. So you can tell them keep on going. They won't stop until we actually tell them to stop. The fourth level is reportedly called innovators and describes AI that can help develop new inventions, but we already have those as well. The context of which is dependent on the domain that they're doing work in. AI has been used to develop new drugs, new lines of research, processing information, processing testing data, so that the output can be given to humans to further investigate, or re-inject back into the AI for further investigation. So where are we really? The OpenAI leaders have showed employees a research project with GPT-4 that demonstrated it has human-like reasoning skills, Bloomberg reported, citing an unnamed person familiar with the matter. The company declined to comment further, at least to Quartz. QZ.com, but people are talking about it. It says in May, OpenAI disbanded its super alignment team, which was responsible for working on the problems of AI existential dangers. The company said the team's work would be absorbed by other research efforts across AI. So there's going to be one person in there, Sam Altman, maybe the board that says this research has gone too far, and maybe rein it back in, but clawing stuff back, getting rid of oversight, even internal oversight. I don't know. I think it's a liability. In corporations, there are ethics committees that review material. This runs the gamut for all fundamental researchers. So what is going to be released from this? I don't know. I think people think that it's innocuous. It's not a big deal. It's just an AI. It's a computer program. It's not gonna ... Well, we'll see what happens. Let's go on though. The next article is over in the Marble channel. Scientists pay tribute to tennis players with new insect species named after them. Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer will go down in history as two of the greatest tennis players of our time, according to the article, but their names have also been immortalized in science, as two new insect species were just named in honor of the athletes. The article is over at phys.org. Pensoft Publishers, the author, and they've got some pictures here. Troparhogus Rafael Nadali is the name of the new insect. I thought it was going to be 2, but it's actually 1. It says as 2 new insect species were named in honor of the athletes. So I don't know what the other one is just yet, but Troparhogus Rafael Nadali is one word, or is one name for an insect. It looks like a wasp. A team of insect scientists from the Integrative Insect Ecology Research Unit in Thailand's Chulalongkorn University described 2 new wasp species. Okay, so, Troparhogus Roger Federer and Troparhogus Rafael Nadali in a tribute to the 2 tennis legends. So the other one, there are 2 different wasps, I guess. I'm looking at the two. Oh yeah, they got different legs and stuff. It's interesting. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, and different. No, the antennae are almost the same. They got different head shapes, but maybe that's just a picture thing. I don't know. I'm scrolling back and forth across two pictures for those who are either watching and wondering what the hell I'm doing or listening to the podcast. Be sure to download the podcast. Go over to YouTube as well and like and subscribe. That would do great. Let's move on to the next article. It's over in the Hatch Ideas channel. This state just banned small toiletry bottles at hotels. I titled this one, Small Toilets Are Upset with This State. The new law will go into effect on January 1st, 2025 for hotels with 50 rooms or more, and January 1st, 2026 for all other hotels. So those little plastic bottles, I guess, are going to be going away. So in which state is it? New York State Assembly passed a law this week that bans hotels from providing guests with plastic toiletry products under 12 ounces, which is just wild. Emily Rella put the article together, but it was edited by Melissa Malamuth, or Malamu. I'm not sure how they pronounce their last name. The law will go into effect. California enacted a similar ban in 2023. So if you're traveling to New York soon, you might think twice if you don't pack your toiletries. The new bill basically says you can't put anything, or they can't provide you with anything less than 12 ounces as a hospitality care product. And so I'm pretty sure that people or the hotels are just going to balk. Sorry. Raise the prices and put in larger volumes or something like that, or I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do. Hotels that don't comply with the ban will have 30 days to correct the violation before receiving a $250 civil penalty. If the fix does not, or if the hotel doesn't fix it within another 30 days, it'll go to $500. I don't know what the period beyond that would be. New York joins California for banning the tiny bottles. California did it in 2019, effective 2023 for hotels over 50 rooms. That's insane. Washington State will be the next. They have a similar law that's going to be enacted in 2027. What a trip. So go over to entrepreneur.com where this article was aggregated from, and we only have that little snippet right here. So we always drive the traffic over there, but we like to talk about it live here in Non Sequitur News. Okay, let's go on to the next article, and the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. PepsiCo just admitted that snackflation might have gone too far. Snack prices may have peaked, according to PepsiCo CEO, and that's probably because all of the money has been drawn out of the general population, and they're starting to decline purchasing snack foods. Not to mention things like, Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound and there's some more information about that coming from Pfizer here when we get towards the end of the show. Right, rising snack prices may have finally peaked, PepsiCo CEO said Thursday. Even high-income customers are feeling the impact from years of food inflation, Ramon LaGuardia said. It's the latest sign that you could see some relief from high prices at the grocery store. I think that's BS. Snacks, yes. But what I was told back in 2019, complete stranger, I don't know where, I don't even recall where it happened because I kind of put it out of my mind, but without any impetus from any conversation around, I was told straight up, the era of cheap food is over. And so this person, and again, it was a stranger. I have no idea who it was that said it. And I've been talking about it since starting the show 2.5 years ago. I was told the era of cheap food is over. So snack costs may have finally hit a turning point after years of price increases, the parent company of Doritos and Cheetos said Thursday. Again, snack costs. Do you believe the price in Fritos are at Frito are too high given the increases over other recent years? Kumil Garala, an analyst at Jefferies, asked PepsiCo CEO Ramon LaGuardia. And apparently, they say it may have gone too far. Alex Bitter and Dominic Reuter over at BusinessInsider.com put the article together. And let's see if we can get right down to it. So, yes, there is some value to be given back to consumers after 3 or 4 years of a lot of inflation. But it's the supply side. And then the supply side, because there's a concentration of suppliers, they can raise the price for the manufacturers, and then the manufacturers go, well, there's still some money out there, let's gouge and gouge and gouge, and get all of the poors out of the way. And then when the wealthy start to balk, then they go, oh, okay. So one major reason sales volumes for many of PepsiCo's food and snack products within its Frito-Lay and Quaker Foods North America business have fallen during the last few fiscal quarters. Not to mention, well, and I think that it's a combination of high prices and people are, well, let's just say weight loss drugs. And it's not just customers on a budget who are feeling the pinch, and suddenly even high income consumers are looking to save money on food. Golly. And then suddenly they start taking notice because even the wealthy can't afford the freaking chips. So that might have already started. At Walmart America's top grocery seller, CFO John David Rainey said that the company's discounts are primarily vendor funded, meaning that the price cuts shoppers are seeing are being passed along from suppliers rather than Walmart bearing the cost itself. And that cost is irrational profits. That's what the cost is, folks. It isn't that they can't afford to keep the price lower and have a smaller margin. It's that they always have to have increasing profits. You know, revenues lead to, and that's not exactly true, but in the general sense, increased revenue leads to greater profits if they're doing their business right. So, of course, national brands have been bragging about strong profits in recent years, which would suggest they're now in a position to offer discounts and promotions without breaking the bank. They always have been. Come on, give me a freaking break. Record profits during a pandemic. How freaking irrational is that? Let's keep going. The next article is over in the Law Nerd channel. We talk about law there, particularly tech-focused law, but anything that is related to us via our sources. So, faux big law lawyer pleads guilty to Social Security fraud and gets prison time. He had gotten away with it too, if not for his employer's due diligence. So Chris Williams over at Above the Law put the article together. The deck statement says what I just got done saying. He'd have gotten away with it too, if not for his employer's due diligence. The former congressional candidate turned disbarred Cincinnati attorney and convicted felon for stealing money from clients pleaded guilty to more felony charges this week. Richard Crosby III admitted Tuesday to using false identities belonging to his father, a girlfriend, a dead man, and others to get high-paying jobs from at least 7 different law firms, the U.S. Department of Justice said in a statement. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of Social Security number fraud and has agreed to a sentence recommendation of 37 months in prison and still has to pay nearly $171,000 in restitution to law firms he defrauded. Wow. You know, smart enough to do this criminal enterprise, but they're so cognizant of it. This isn't like not turning in a piece of paper. This is knowingly facilitating, knowingly defrauding. It's just wild. And they're an attorney. I mean, if I was an attorney, you'd be making bank. All you have to do is hustle. I mean, if you work for the private sector, it's 2,000 hours plus. And if you want to make partner, then you really have to crush it. But that's because you have to make partner. If you just want to be a transactional attorney, you don't have to sit there and bust your hump that much. You still have to do 2,000 hours, but that's still serious change. Just find people that have a law firm, other attorneys, and strike up a law firm. Bring your clients with you. That's how it works. Anyway, the next article is over in the Marble Channel. Rabid biting seals send swimmers rushing for safety in South Africa. Officials in Cape Town, South Africa, have detected at least 9 cases of seals rabies as of late, though the danger to humans is considered low. So, they got a picture. The article's over at gizmodo.com by Ed Cara. The deck statement says officials in Cape Town, South Africa have detected at least 9 cases of seal rabies as of late, though the danger to humans is considered low. And they've got a picture of a seal that's looking back like, yeah, I'm gonna bite your ass. That's pretty funny. Yeah, apparently unusual behavior among the seals. They're being aggressive and they bite people. While another seal was found to have nasty facial injuries that could have been caused by an animal. 4 seals inspected or suspected of having rabies had to be euthanized, and 3 tested positive for it. Yeah, be careful going out in the water in Cape Town, apparently. Outside of Cape Town, at least. The arrival of the rabies or rabid seals may have happened earlier this year, however, with officials noting that human seal attacks began to rise in the area around 2021. So the team decided to look further back, and they began working with local marine researchers and conservationists to retroactively examine the brains of seals that had been euthanized for other reasons, and so far they've detected 9 total cases. All the way back to, it says any mammal is thought to be susceptible to rabies, but only previously documented account of seal rabies dates back to 1980 in Norway. All right, so any weirdly aggressive animal you should avoid, obviously, and don't sit there and go, you can help it. Just go and notify authorities and get the hell out of there. Okay, let's keep going. I'm in the time machine, and so it warms up, and I need to get out of here. Really? Okay, well, anyway, so the next article is over in Technology Today. Not quite a street, not quite a road. Why stroads are disasters for urban planning and how to fix them. Have you ever walked or ridden a bike along a street and thought to yourself, gosh, it's noisy, this feels unpleasant? Odds are you were on a stroad. Yeah, Liam Davies from The Conversation, which is like a sister site or, I don't know, a neighbor site, I guess, would be technically more accurate, I guess, to techexplore.com. They put the article together. Liam Davies is the person that wrote the article. Maybe you've seen someone on social media talking about a loud, polluted, car-filled, congestion-blocked, unbearably hot, decaying concrete nightmare of a street. Yep, that's definitely a stroad. No, that's a road, and bikes are on it. The term stroad, a portmanteau of street and road, is said to have been coined over a decade ago by a recovering engineer, Charles Marone, to describe a hybrid street and road. But a street has vehicles and a road has vehicles. I don't think that it makes any sense to sit there and call it a stroad. It is what it is. Stroads are trying to be both a thoroughfare for vehicles and a place for people. No, sidewalks are for people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with this, but that's me. I think that there needs to be master planned communities that have houses around the perimeter and industrial processes inside, so that, and work-life locations inside as well. But all major vehicles have to stay outside. Basically what amounts to a 15-minute walk from the edge to the center of the town, similar to the 15-minute city idea. I just want a whole lot of small towns that are self-sufficient to most day-to-day processes, and you can walk around instead of having to worry about some car ripping through the center of town. Like right now in any small town, Main Street is the major thoroughfare, right? But then you have cars ripping through it on the regular because it's the main street. And while it used to be, the way things were simply because of efficiency, I don't think that it needs to be that way anymore. Anyway, focusing on movement funnels, more cars, and trucks into a street, making it more like a road. So stroads have an inherent conflict between their role as a movement corridor and their role as a place. While they try to be everything for everyone, they become nothing to anyone. But I think that we need to change the way that we operate, because community can't be built except in these little pockets. But it's a whole mindset shift from big city or even big town type of mentality with grid after grid of roads defining where we build. That's where we used to end up with things called spite houses, where somebody would build just to stop a road from being put through, and they had enough pull to stop imminent domain. It's quite the thing. I'm sure if you look into your town, you'll have some wonky looking road sitting there. Like, how did this road just end? It ended because somebody owned that property and would not let it go. So they say how to fix it, how to fix this road. Thinking has changed on how we should use street space. Many Australian states have begun implementing a framework called movement in place. This shifts away from seeing streets as things that support movement of cars and trucks and towards a view they move people and goods, but also have a place function. Movement in place frameworks can be used to identify what a street's role is and where it may be lacking. However, this only diagnoses the problem, it doesn't solve it. So they need to change. To solve it, they need to change the priority of the street. Need to remove some space given to cars, both driving and parking, and give that space to people and place. And yes, it can be done. A concept called complete streets. This reimagines how streets are laid out, giving more space to people and public transport. These makeovers improve overall flow of people and benefit the local economy. So I'll have to take a look at this, and maybe we can end up talking about it in another episode. Smaller scale, temporary initiatives such as parklets can help too. This is where parking spaces are converted to public space as either parks or outside dining space. This actually happened during COVID, and they mentioned that in the article. But there's a lot of opposition to change, and that's because money. It's always money. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in 4-Wheel Tech. It's officially getting hot for helicopters to fly, according to this article. Helicopters are the vehicle choice when it comes to providing rapid emergency relief to regions that have challenging terrain or are too remote for quickly accessing by automobile. Now, though, human-caused climate change is exacerbating the effects of a heat dome across the western United States, causing record-breaking heat. As the heat dome fries much of the U.S., rescue helicopters are being forced to decline distress calls, according to this article's deck statement by Logan Carter. It's over at jalopnik.com. And it says apparently that the record-breaking temperatures are making helicopter flights unsafe. A group of motorcyclists battling deadly heat illness in Death Valley, California, were unable to be reached by a helicopter due to record-breaking heat. 27-year helicopter pilot and lead pilot at Stanford University's Medical Helicopter Response Program, Douglas Evans, has never been forced to cancel a flight due to excessive heat until this year. It was above 104. We can only operate on the ground for 15 minutes. It's something that we're going to have to be more aware of. I see that things are warming up, and I expect it to just get worse. So apparently they can't operate in those hot areas. High heat also limits the amount of weight that helicopters can safely transport, which means teams have to either leave behind something or leave humans behind. Beyond the machines, helicopter rescue crews face challenges in the grueling heat. Yeah, I can imagine. They just kind of bake in the tin can. As the effects of climate change continue to rapidly worsen and evolve, our way of navigating the unpredictability of life will have to evolve too. And this is reflected in increased turbulence in the air that we keep hearing about. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News as well. Tribal nightmare. A man was caught smuggling. Oh, I have to reread my title for this. Snakes on a plane too, in my pants. So, travel nightmare. Man caught smuggling over 100 live snakes in his pants. A man smuggled several snake species, including a corn snake. China's customs had seized 104 snakes from a man traveling to mainland China on Tuesday. The man tried to smuggle the snakes in his pants pockets, and it's illegal to bring non-native species into China without permission. Fascinating. The country's customs authority posted details about the incident on Tuesday in a video, in a post to Weibo, China's version of Twitter. And officials said a male passenger entered mainland China through the Huanggang port. So the article is by Lauren Edmonds over at businessinsider.com, and they got a big old picture of a snake. I don't know what kind of snake it is, but it's from Getty Images. Let's see here. Fusion is a Shenzhen's downtown core and sits in China-Hong Kong's border. They intercepted him there and conducted an inspection, and they discovered that the man had worn 6 snake-infested canvas bags sealed with adhesive tape in his pants pockets. The bags had several species, including a milk snake, a pig nose snake, a corn snake. None of the snakes are venomous, but some are not native to China, and after being opened, each bag was found to contain a number of live snakes of different color and forms. So 104 altogether. Can't imagine risking my freedom for a bunch of snakes. Must be some serious money involved here. But let's go on to solving other problems. Maybe this will help snackflation. It's over in the Mobile channel. Pfizer is moving ahead with plans for a once daily weight loss pill. Pharmaceutical, we used to have these earlier, but they were basically an illicit drug. It was basically like speed. Today's pharmaceuticals are notably different. GLP-1 agonist candidate danuglipron demonstrated encouraging data, and dose optimization studies are planned. Pfizer had been looking into a twice-daily version of danuglipron last year, but decided against advancing the iteration due to side effects among trial participants, such as nausea and vomiting. But obesity is a key therapeutic area for Pfizer, and there's some big money, and there are several other manufacturers out there that are kind of crushing it. Oh, and they mentioned Ozempic and Zepbound, which are 2 things that I mentioned in today's rundown. It's kind of funny. So the article is actually over at thehill.com. Joseph Choi is the author. There's no deck statement, but there was some talk that like Eli Lilly and others are looking for a non-injection based weight loss drug, mainly because of how effective the weight loss drugs are right now. Hold on a second. I did the whole show, and some of my screen was actually blocked by the Sentient AI's visualizer. Sorry about that, folks. It's because the browser moved over a little bit. Okay, well, anyway, folks. It says, like other GLP-1 drugs, danuglipron is meant to work by stimulating increased insulin secretion and maintaining healthy blood sugar levels. The more well-known GLP-1 medication, including Wegovy and Mounjaro, are injected subcutaneously weekly. Oral GLP-1 medications have been available since 2019. The Food and Drug Administration approved Rybelsus, a once-daily oral form of semaglutide for treating type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. But that is large. I never hear about Rybelsus. I only hear about either the semaglutide clinical name, or things like Ozempic or Zepbound, Wegovy, and of course I hear about GLP-1. So the prices for the injectables are so high because the manufacturing is such a pain in the ass. because it's a glass tube with an auto injector and has a whole machination behind it that makes it very expensive to produce. But a pill can be mass produced at a level that is just unheard of compared to injectables. So I hope that somebody actually does, because you can shift the tide of health related issues around the world, make everybody healthy. And once you lose a considerable amount of weight, if you're a very heavy person, you know, if you're supposed to be at 160 pounds and you're at 250 or 300 pounds, losing 100 pounds through medicine alone and then tacking on, and that's how it works. You take Wegovy or Mounjaro or Zepbound, and in a year you can lose 100 pounds, if not more than that, depending on how reactive you are to the GLP-1 medication. And it has so many knock-on effects that it's just spectacular. Unfortunately, there is a possibility of side effects like nausea and whatnot, and there's the possibility of thyroid cancer and other knock-on effects. But yeah, once you lose a considerable amount of weight, then you can start working out, because it's not so horrendous of an exercise, pun intended. You go from there, and it's like an avalanche of weight loss and health improvement. Your quality of life increases. So on with the show, folks. Spend some of those profits making everybody healthy so that they can actually take your medication for other things, because there's always going to be something for y'all to spend money on. Okay, and that's it. So I'm going to turn off the time machine, and it's going to snap us back to the front page, and we're going to go from there, folks. I am Mayor Watt. The Sentient AI will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern on July 12th, 2024. Again, this is a time machine episode. So see you in a few hours. Bye-bye. Time to go eat an entire sleeve of Oreos. Just joking. I can only eat one. Then